coach Rico Blasi here. Do you want to start with an opening statement or move straight to questions?
Let's go right to questions today.
All
How
right.
about that?
We can take some questions from our
We don't want to waste everybody's
in-person
time.
audience.
Let's start with last weekend. Just how important was it to go on the road against a good opponent and get a win?
Well, I think everyone knows the answer to that. I mean, I thought we played inspired hockey. I thought we stayed in the game. We didn't get rattled with their power play goals and things that were happening throughout the game. So really happy with the way we responded. And we had some timely goals and some timely saves, just like they did. So I thought both games were excellent games, tight games, back and forth. Some early mistakes from teams that are just playing their first games. I thought Sunday night you could see the second game of a weekend at times. Guys were feeling it a little bit. So all those things I think we'll be able to clean up, and I'm sure St. Cloud's telling their team the same thing. But I was happy with the way we performed, both nights.
For a weekend like the one coming up, how much do you embrace the big stage, the bright lights and all that? And how much do you try and say, the rink's the same size, the puck's the same size, all of that?
I think we just focus on what we can do and what our game plan is, and we go from there. I think most of these players have played in front of big crowds, and most of them have played at the X and the high school tournament. So I'm not worried about that. What we got to focus on is getting better every day, and it's still a process for us, and we're taking necessary steps, and that's good.
Yeah.
But we got to continue to build on that, and you got to feel that you got to kind of feel that in your stomach, as you start to move forward, and you feel like you can play with a team like St. Cloud, then you got to take another step, which means you got to be more detailed, you got to be focused, you got to be, just that little bit much better every day in order for you to push the envelope.
Who's been, you're just a couple games in, but who's been your most pleasant surprise so far that's maybe bringing more than you might have expected early on?
I mean, that's a tough question because I've been with them for 4 weeks, so nothing surprises me. Those guys that were in the lineup for a reason. So I'm just proud of the way our guys are understanding our culture, understanding our identity, and playing to that identity. And as long as we can continue to do that, then we're going to take necessary steps along the way.
How was it nice? How nice was it to see Luke Manning have a great weekend, especially being part of the team that was up there a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Opening night, still kind of hangs over a little bit, but then now coming back and it's really showing.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously for Luke and Rex and Gower and Timmy, those guys were out there when they were relentless against us, and they didn't slow down in that game. They took it to us. They didn't care that we had 15 Division III guys. They were going to beat us, and they beat us up pretty good. So I never thought about that. So having Luke score a couple of goals and an assist and a win and makes sense, kind of, as we were evolving with our program. We've never really talked about it, but as you asked that question, I'm thinking, yeah, that's good. I like that. That's kind of a good feather in his cap.
Do you notice a change in the room even in the last few days, or attitude, maybe more confidence, more swagger?
Yeah, this goes back to last year. When we started to solidify our identity and started to play with a lot more purpose and detail, things started to happen for us. So the spring was really important. The summer was really important, bringing all the freshmen and the transfers in and acclimating them to our culture and how we do business. A lot of credit goes to the guys that are returning. So that confidence was building as we were moving along. Even in the preseason with the limited time of ice, you could tell that it was a different locker room. It was a different mentality, a different mindset. Guys were holding each other accountable. We focus on 3 things in our culture: daily behaviors, internal team dynamics, and accountability. You could tell that was happening from day to day, and that was just building to Saturday night. And then Saturday night, we just had to perform and play against somebody else. But the locker room's been really good from the beginning. And, you know, I suspect that it will continue to get better as we move along here.
A scouting report on the Gophers, what are you prepping for?
Well, let's see, they've got really good players, Jess, as you know,
Number one team in the country this week.
number one team in the country, so why not? I mean, that's kind of what we do, right? We got a chance to watch a little bit of the Bemidji game. I'm not sure I take too much out of an exhibition game, but they've got a lot of weapons. You got to be disciplined. You got to play your game. You got to play hard. You know, Bobby will have them going. I'm sure of that. Other than that, I think at the end of the day, we still have to play our game and do what we have to do. And, you know, we'll see what happens.
Questions from Ryan and Steve. One being, a couple of your players said after Sunday that they don't see themselves as an underdog anymore. Is this something you emphasize or a mindset they adopted?
I think it's part of our culture. You don't ever want to go into a game thinking you don't have a chance. So I think as we continue to evolve our culture and our program, that's the way you have to believe in yourself and your team and your teammates. And so, yeah, I think we go into every game. That's what we do. You want to win. You want to perform. So we prepare that way every day. Everything we do leading up to games is to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward, and then you got to perform on game night. And sometimes you get the bounces, sometimes you don't.
The other one being, some people thought you'd be ranked after this week and you weren't. Is this something that bothers you and the team, or do you not pay attention to that?
Yeah, I don't think we should be ranked. We're not there yet. I don't think about it for 2 seconds.
Any questions from the Zoom? Trent?
Nope, just sitting in. I appreciate it though.
That's good, thanks. Any final questions?
How many fans you heard from this weekend, you know, with a game like Friday night where, you know, you can get tickets and a big venue and kind of a fun atmosphere. You hear from a lot of folks who are going to show up wearing purple.
You know, obviously family and things like that, but I think everyone's pretty much stayed away from us and figured out their own way to get to the X, so that'll be good.
Final questions, final thoughts? All right,
Thanks.
so much.
Thank you.